Good afternoon, guys. It is about 1 o'clock. Kind of took the morning off to recover. Got some sleep. Did me a lot of good. One thing that's new to me is since getting LASIK, if I don't get, which is pretty common, a lot of sleep, I get nearsighted and it doesn't clear up until you actually get a couple days of real rest and let your eyes recover. Right now it's pretty good. It's not 20/20, but it's pretty good. I can see normally across the street, but coming home last night, man, distant traffic was pretty sketchy. That's just the way it goes. Eye drops help a little bit here and there, but it doesn't make a huge difference. So today, don't really have a master plan. I've got a whole bunch of little stuff to do, and I'm just gonna be going around the house, doing stuff as I see it. We do have to get some groceries today, and she wants to make something else in the Instant Pot, which, man, I have to say, so far, pretty impressed with the way it works. It's basically a pressure cooker. You know, the longer something takes to cook, if you add pressure to that, it shortens the time. You know, that's the basis behind what an Instant Pot is. It's a crock pot with a pressure lid, and the cheaper models go 5 to 7 PSI, and the more expensive ones go to like 15. Commercial ones like Kentucky Fried Chicken, that's their secret of how they cook chicken like that. I believe they're pushing 20. So, you know, it does make a dramatic difference. Her last dish, I think she said it cooked in 45 minutes and normally took 8 hours for the same thing. So, I mean, it works. So what I'm gonna do first, I think, is try to get this humidor going. I need to read the manual, which isn't anything unusual. It's basically a big winador, but it is a refrigerator unit, twin refrigerator unit, and we have to fill it up. And I got the water last night before I got home, so let's get started on that. My oversized trim plates came in, so these will replace the normal size. I'll link them down in the product store if you need them. Actually, that's not the first thing I want to do because I forgot I need to get floor sliders at Walmart, so maybe we'll go there first. So I can move this thing back into position. Right now it's solid wood on wood. Do not scratch your floors trying to push this thing around. It is in place, believe me. It's literally 2 refrigerators heavy. So, you know, try moving your fridge if it wasn't on wheels, multiplied by 2. But not frame sliders, I'm used to motorcycles. The floor sliders, man, this thing glides like glass with one person. Those things really do work, but I'm gonna get some big ones. I've got some little tiny, you know, ones made for the actual legs of furniture. Those wouldn't work. You need the big ones to spread the surface area. And then I'll get this back into place. It does have 2 electrical outlets, because like I said, it literally is 2 refrigerators. So we have one power plug there and one there. You're gonna need a big circuit for this. And luckily I have a big circuit here in the office. What I'm hoping is this thing stays pretty quiet. And I think it will, simply because I keep the room itself nice and cool. You know, the house is always between 71 and 73, depending on the room you're in. And I'll go through the details of why, but I'm gonna be setting this to, I believe it worked out to 66. So it shouldn't run all that much. And I'm concerned mostly about the noise. I love a silent office. I've got a silent water-cooled PC, and I run the fan. I actually like the fan. I wasn't sure if I would, but I like the additional breeze. And I run it low enough where I can't hear it. I do not like noise while I'm working in the office. So if this thing is obnoxiously loud, it's going out of here. Maybe in the shooting room, but I was also thinking maybe in the dining room. I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful piece of furniture, period. I mean, it's not just a humidor cabinet. It is furniture grade beautiful. So it would look absolutely stunning in the dining room. And we do have tons of room in the dining room with just a sideboard going in there, at least right now. So, I mean, I have options, but if it's quiet, it's staying right here. I do want it in here. So we will see. And I'm gonna put it in both positions, against that wall and against this wall. I think I'm still gonna want it on this wall simply for being able to get into it. I don't want to have to be bending down and looking sideways. I think there's a film on this. There's either a plastic film on one side or the other, or it's really dirty. It's got like a gunk to it. Anyway, it's fresh out of the crate. I haven't done anything with it. Okay, so Walmart, before I can do that, I need to put the little shelves, not shelves, the slide out drawers in the wife's bedroom. I need more coffee. Bathroom, so she can put some of her stuff away. We need to get the second guest room cleared out and taped. That shouldn't take long. There's something in the kitchen. I need to spray paint the tiki torch bases. I need to cut down the shafts, and I need to buy another hacksaw at Walmart because I cannot find my hacksaw. I might have left it there, I'm not sure. So it goes from this to that, nice and clean. Well worth $1.50. Back from Walmart, got the sliders, got a hacksaw, got a bimetal blade. Should be all to go. Of course, the woman had come and waste another hour, and of course we have to go to more stores than just where I needed to go. Let's get these underneath the cabinet and try our positions and see what we like. That's what she said. Well, I got one under, but I need her to just put her foot back here so I can tip it. It's so heavy, the whole thing just wants to slide on the floor. She's making lunch/dinner right now, and after that, later tonight, we're gonna go back to IKEA. I'm gonna get some kind of cabinet or shelf unit or something for here to put the printer on and all the charging stuff that I talked about before. And we have to return the IKEA comforter, and there's something she wanted to get, I can't remember. Right, Chloe? What are you doing? Investigating? So before I get this all back into position, let's go over it. Just kind of inspect it for any kind of damage or imperfections. Now, I know that some of you are saying, dude, that's like $4,000 humidor. It better be perfect, like buying a car. I don't expect it to be 100% perfect. The only way you're gonna get that is if you have a carpenter come in and build you something in the room. Through the process of manufacturing and especially shipping and getting it into your house, I mean, stuff is gonna happen. So if there are little nicks and stuff like that, I don't care. If it doesn't affect the function, and if I don't, what is she doing? Must be the Instapot. You know, if it doesn't affect the operation, I'm good with it. So let's just inspect it here. This cabinet itself is made from American oak. It is solid hardwood. That's part of why it's so incredibly heavy. The top, which now I can see it. I haven't even seen it, is particle board. So don't put anything heavy up here. It's just to keep crap out of the unit. But the unit itself, I'm 6'2", and the phone is now at eye level. So unless you're above 7 foot, you're never gonna see this. So I can touch it, but I can't see it. That's what's up there. The rest is all wood, and the inside is mostly metal. These are refrigerator doors that happen to have glass on them. They're metal framed with regular old refrigerator magnetic strips, and it does have a demisting heating function, just like a refrigerator, to keep these frost free. I'm not gonna have that issue because my room is kept between 71 and 72, and I got the AC duct right there, so the outside and inside is not gonna be that different. I'm not gonna have any problem with fog or dew, but if your room is incredibly hot, say 90 degrees, then you might turn that function on, but that's all covered in the manual. We've got some activity lights here. That's what that top one is there for demisting the door. Chilling, master power. It does have full LEDs, so you can see everything in the humidor. One thing I don't think it has though is LEDs inside the unit. I may add those somehow. I guess it's not an issue because I forgot these drawers slide out. I'm used to just the regular old plain cabinets where it's just shelves built in. These are like dresser drawers, and it's really cool because they use the same full extension drawer sliders that I put in the kitchen that the wife eats. They are super slick. They're on bearings. Very nice. And then they latch back into place. So it's not going to accidentally roll out or anything. If you put something heavy on here, it's here to stay until you actually pull it out. There's a actual notch. Absolutely love the mechanism. So I guess it's not an issue because I can pull these out and the lights are going to illuminate whatever's in there. So that's cool. You can turn that on or off, and I believe it's also automatic with a timer. I haven't fully read the manual yet. You can of course switch between Celsius and Fahrenheit. This is temperature readout, this is humidity readout for current conditions. And can't remember what these two do. I think this activates the door fogging system, and can't remember. I'll go through the manual with you guys, but ooh, look, I can peel away for the first time. Oh, that's better. Look at that black. Beautiful. Oh, that's a lot better. Didn't even notice that was there until just now. Get this one too. Sweet. Now I really want to see if there's a film on this door. Either there's a film or it's tinted. I think you guys can see that on the wall there. Okay, there's no film to remove. There is a smudge on it. I'll clean the glass itself. It may be like a deep UV tint. Is that something to peel? No, it doesn't look like it. It does there though. I don't feel anything. I think it's just like the application, but I think it's supposed to be there. Yeah, that's glue residue. Okay, so I'm not gonna try to peel that off. That's just a nice tint, and I will clean it to get off all that smudge work. But both sides are identical. It's rocking right now because I've only got one under there. Both sides are identical and 100% separate. So I've had a couple people ask, can you put cigars on one side and say convert this into a wine cooler? Yes, you can. They are 100% separate units. So you can have different temperatures, different humidities in this side versus that. Do whatever you want. Mine will be identical. This is handy for cigars if, say, you have a lot of Cubans and a lot of non-Cubans, where some Cubans like different RH levels. There she is, in place, plugged in. Don't worry, this is not even close to final positions of everything yet. Not sure what I'm going to do with this over here. I may keep it kind of far down like this out of the way, or I may put it over on this side of the room, which is probably the cleaner option, and I'll just run a longer coax back behind everything. I think that'll be the cleaner option, and not have anything on this wall. Kind of looks out of place just sitting there. I'd forgotten about the door coming out. I was planning on this being down there, but nope, that doesn't work. So yeah, I'll just pick up a longer coax next time I go out somewhere. It's gonna be a while before I get this office situated. It's just basically functioning right now. All right, so it's plugged in, not turned on yet because I don't have any water in the system. Haven't even looked at closely where to fill it up. It's supposed to be under the bottom shelf. Everything is built into the unit. It's not like it uses an Oasis Magna unit. Everything is built into the cabinet itself. So you get completely open space to use. They did give you some suggestions on not putting boxes and blocking the active fan units, which are, oh, hold on, you need a light. There we go. Blocking the active fan units here, or there's a RH gauge built into the wall there. Don't block that. And it mentioned something about blocking stuff on the bottom, but like I said, I'll go through that in a minute. The instruction manual was laying here, and we've got a bottle here for something. Might be to easily fill up the reservoir. Handy dandy. Put that aside. So here's the manual. It's pretty simple. Even though it's an American assembled company, the manual does look Chinese. There is some Chinglish in it. And I'm not sure who the actual manufacturer is. I got it from First Class Humidors as the retailer. And I know there's some arrangement or some relationship between them and Prestige Cigar Group. It says Prestige in the manual here. But the unit online is called the Regan, or Reagan. They have definitely a Chinese font, but it's written fairly well. I mean, it's not straight out of China like the Winador units, for example, if you've seen my reviews on those. So let's go through here and get it fired up. So it says the reservoir is underneath the bottom shelf, and it's got some covers if you need to lower RH for some reason, but it says they recommend to keep it in place during normal operation. or I'm sorry, the covers are to be removed during normal operation, and holds just under half a gallon of water. And they say during the initial setup, don't top off the tank. Add it in small amounts. Okay, so let's find the reservoir here. I have no idea what it looks like. I haven't taken any of this out yet. So the bottom shelf is not on sliders, it's just on standoffs here with rubber feet. So the bottom shelf here is not full depth compared to the other ones. It looks like maybe 4 or 5 inches shallower. Nothing I see there. Let's try this side. And another note, the dimensions online of the unit itself are a little deceptive. You know, they roughly say it's, say 6 feet tall by 4 feet wide, just for an example. That's not actual cigar space. There is a lot of unit here taking up cubic feet. For example, this interior section here, this is solid from here to here. So you've got, 5 inches here that you can't use for cigars. The depth of the unit, I mean, it's generous. You could probably fit a box and a half of depth back there, but it doesn't go all the way to the back of the unit. You've again got at least 6 or 7 inches eaten up by the unit itself. The shelves stop about here. So you've got a lot less space than the dimensions on side. I would like for them to say what the interior dimensions are. And maybe I missed it. I might be wrong. I'll go back and double check after this clip and let you know if I just missed that. But note, you don't get as much space as you might think. It's still very generous, I'm not complaining, but it is something to note. So is there a cover? Ow, oh, my knees hurt. Okay, there's something there. Something up there. Okay, it looks like maybe that's gotta be a fill thing or something. I can't see the top. Oh, those kind of look like covers. All right, this is awkward because I'm on my hands and knees and the floor really hurts my knees. Ah, ooh, it burns. Okay, and I'm holding a phone. Okay, here we go. So these look like, ow. These are metal. I see. All right, so remove these for normal operation. I'm gonna have to double check that manual. It looked like contradictory information. It said leave them in place so you don't drop any cigars or anything in them. It's basically just open to water, it looks like. It's kind of weird. But then it says keep them in place for normal operation. Let's see what it says. Okay, so I just missed one sentence. It says, while you're loading or removing cigars, they suggest putting them in place. Well, I'm not gonna do that. I've never in my life dropped a cigar inside a humidor or anything, so odds on it missing all the shelves and dunking into the bath are pretty low. I'm just gonna leave them off. Now, the skeptic in me says, just open piles of water there. It's basically a pan, just a basic pan of water and a circulatory fan. And I would imagine they just kick the fan on to raise humidity. Now, because it is a refrigeration unit, it's going to naturally drop the humidity. So this is probably going to be okay as a balancing act. And it's the same setup as a Cigar Oasis Magna. Instead of just open water, the Magna just uses gel beads. I don't even like calling them beads, but the florist gel. But that's pretty much just to stop it from sloshing around. This isn't going anywhere, so it's half a dozen, 1/6 of the other. So I'll definitely give it a shot. I will fill both of these up to half level, and that should be all the setup I have to do. Just turn it on and set my levels. So I've got all the covers off. Both reservoirs are about 3/4 filled. Just split this gallon of distilled water. I'm going to let this season, and it's really just seasoning the drawers. Since it's basically a cooler door or wine door, there's nothing in the unit itself to season except this Spanish cedar on the shelves, which isn't a whole lot. I could wipe it, but I'm not in a huge rush, and I want to see how well it really does regulate. So let's turn it on for the first time. I love the way these shut. It's just like a fridge. It's thunk. There's a whoosh of air. Completely unlike any kind of wooden unit. Love it. Okay, let's see, power. We have power. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that LED lighting. That is perfect. Let's see how it looks with it open. Oh wow, this light over here actually shines that way. Yeah, my fears of not being able to see the stock are completely unfounded. Now you do have to open the door just slightly wider than 90 degrees to get the shelves to clear, but that's it, just that amount. Perfect clearance to the wall. Perfect. Yeah, look at that, that works. That is awesome. Nice and bright. They are a daylight balanced, slightly cool LED light. I'll have to look at the manual to see what the lights mean. That should be Celsius, so let's try Fahrenheit. Let me turn this light off. There is a bug in this new iOS. It's not turning the light on or off even when you manually activate it on the video recorder. That's better. Okay, so RH is currently set to 56. I want to go to 66, and this is why. It tells you in the manual. Now, just like your home AC, there's a range. It will wait until your AC, your room temperature hits typically 1 or 2 degrees hotter than your set temp before it kicks on the AC and brings it back down. This has the same range, but on the RH, it's 3 to 4%. So I want it never, I'm sorry, I'm talking RH, I mean temperature. I want to set the temperature to 66 because I don't want my temperature to ever go above 70. So on its worst case, at a 4-degree spread, it'll hit 70 before coming back down to 66. So I'm going to set my temp to 66. So that'll give me a great range between 66 and 70. And with the room being 71, 72, it shouldn't kick on that often at all. So that should be perfect. RH, I'm going to set it at 65, which is what I like. We'll see how it holds. I will be putting in my calibrated gauges and we'll see what it does. Okay, so interior accent light is this button here. Where'd it go? That one? No, that's not it. What does it say? Light bulb. Where's the light bulb? Oh, light bulb. Okay. So it looks like it's just manual on or off. That's okay. I would like to see it on a timer though. It'd be nice if it would come on automatically when you open the door and then either go off automatically when you shut it or a certain time after, just like a refrigerator. Because I don't necessarily want these on all the time. They're nice for looking before you open the door, which is the main point of them, by the way. Your humidity has to really catch up. If you open the door and you're like, you dilly-dally around for 10 minutes before picking a cigar, well, guess what? You now have to recharge the entire airspace in your humidor, and that kills your humidity system. If you're using Boveda packs, you're gonna have to recharge them or replace them sooner. If you're using beads, it's gonna take a while to catch back up, and you're gonna have huge spikes and dips. But if you've got lighting, and you could do this to any cabinet, these light strips are dirt cheap. Walmart has these for $5 a piece, and they're remote controlled. They're really cool. It's an awesome deal. Look in by the TVs. And you can set them to any color and any intensity or whatever you want. Anyway, with the lights, you know, it's just like the new refrigerators with a transparent panel. You can pick out what you want, or like at a convenience store, picking your drink, and then open the door, get your cigar, and close it, and you have a minimum of airspace to handle from your humidification. Love the lighting. All right, let's see what else it says. It says it comes pre-calibrated, and it does have a calibration function in the gauge itself internally if you need to match it to another calibrated gauge. So like I said, I'll be putting a couple of my gauges in there, and we'll see how it matches. But they did go over this before they shipped it to me, so I expect it to be correct. Okay, so you tap these twice to set the range. So as they sit, they're showing current conditions, And inside is currently 56%, which is higher, interestingly, than my room. So it may be picking up all that water I dumped in there. My Nest is saying right now it's 46% in the house. So I want this, let's see, tap twice, okay. So we want to set it to 65. Oh, it goes in 2-degree increments. Can't say I like that just for aesthetics. I would really prefer that to be in 1 RH percentage increments. Maybe they can adjust that at the firmware level, I don't know, but didn't mention that in the manual, so I guess we'll set it at 66. I like that better than going a little low. So we'll let that catch up and see how it holds. Now the temperature, of course, is just sitting here because it's the same temperature as the room, currently at 71.5, which is what my room is. And we want to set this, oh, wrong one. Okay, which one is the temperature set? Or did I just set the temperature? To set humidity, press that twice. Set that, blah, 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 okay. Cooling and heating. That's the range. I must have missed a step here. I'm looking for how to set the temperature. It's a really thick book. It's a nice little manual, good quality. To set temperature, press it once. Got it. So same button. So that means it's both the RH and temperature. That's interesting. The frame rate of the camera as I move in and back is adjusting, and it's hitting the refresh rate of the display. It looks completely solid to the naked eye. So set it once, there we go. So we're gonna bring this down to 66. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now I can hear it coming on, and it is really quiet. I do not mind that at all. You guys probably can't even hear it. Almost silent. I mean, the ceiling fan is about the same noise level. Very nice. Okay. So let's go ahead and do the same for here. And I just realized both my humidity and temp are going to be the same at 66. So Fahrenheit, temperature down to, now what's that button do? Oh, that's the LEDs, right. And that's the one I'm not going to use. Down to 66. Did that go in an increment? 66, 7, 8, 8.5. Oh, that's because, you know what? Even though it's an American company, the circuit board is still freaking metric. And it goes in 1 Celsius increments, but not 1 Fahrenheit increments. I hate that. Oh well. 66 for temp. 66 for humidity. That's done. Why did that temp come on? That one's running. This one's not. Set at 66. This refrigerator is running. That one's not. Let's set it down more and see if it can trip on. That's not good. Okay, time to troubleshoot. Figures, right as I'm reading the troubleshooting section, it comes on. So we're good. Now what I'm assuming, and I'll call the company tomorrow just to verify, and they want me to give them a call anyway to go over everything that I've done for setup, just to make sure it's okay. But because it's only an active system to raise the humidity, it's got the circulatory fans, just like the Cigar Oasis, and we know those work. They've worked for years. What I'm assuming is to lower the humidity, what it does is kick on the refrigeration system, which drops humidity. Because there is nothing in here to actively suck up humidity. Like all the other active humidity control systems out there, even commercials, all they do is raise, which is normally okay because normally you only have to be adding humidity. It's going to be very odd if you're in any kind of situation where you have a chilled unit that you have to drop humidity. It just doesn't happen. So that's what I'm assuming it does. And that's what this light up here is for. The green means that it is actively cooling. Actually I haven't looked up what the amber light means. That means it's more than 4% above or below your set point, and it's doing something, either actively humidifying or running the refrigeration system to dehumidify. And let me look up what that third light is. Oh, that third light is actually a red LED, and I will never see it because that's the heating element. If you're keeping this in an unheated room in the winter, it takes care of you. It has a heating element in both sides also, but obviously I'll never be using that. So back to inspecting for damage, I really only see two things, and believe me, you're never gonna see them in real life. At the top, there's just a couple little tiny divots, and I assume they're from shipping straps or crating straps, but you have to be nose up close to even see it. So real life, never gonna see it. The other is, there's a slight warpage to this front door, and it looks worse on camera, but just because of the shadows and the way the camera creates contrast. In real life, again, unless you're right up to it, you'd never really notice. But there is a slight drop. You can see that right lock is drilled in just a little low. So not perfect manufacturing tolerances there, but it is handmade. I do wish, that was a little more paid attention to. For this kind of money, it's gonna bother some people. Believe me, if the shop is watching this, trust me, you're going to get somebody complaining about this for $4,000. I'm okay with it, but I don't have OCD. Believe me though, some people do. Now the warp is the actual piece of wood itself. It is a solid piece of oak, and it has a natural bow in it right in the center. So it's not like anyone made it incorrectly. It's just the way it is as a natural piece of wood. The closing surface is straight. And of course there's tons of give in it, just like a fridge. So there's no operational problem whatsoever. It's flush up at the top, and it just slightly bends out and then bends back into the bottom. So it's just a natural piece of wood. 2x4s do the same thing, and when you're building with them, you gotta make sure that you're using them all in the same orientation, or you end up with waves. Same type of thing. This one is perfectly straight, all the way top to bottom. So it, again, would have been nice if they would have checked that during manufacturing and simply not used this or planed it. But, it doesn't bother me. But again, for $4,000, you will get people bothered by that, and you're gonna have people demanding a new door. Trust me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is just leave it, and I'm gonna wait until the RHs get up to 66, see if it overshoots, see how long it remains stable. These shelves are gonna take a while to suck up humidity and slowly season over a couple days, and I wanna make sure that these amber lights go out and stay out for a little while. That means it's not actively circulating the humidity, and that'll mean that it's fairly seasoned and I can load it up with cigars. It's been about an hour and a half here. It's cycled up and down a few times, regulating the temp. Actually overshot so far in this that it turned on the heater to get it back up. And I'm sure the humidity is gonna be on and off for a while because that's gonna shift with the temperature. Everything has to, regulate itself and get settled in. So right now this one is spinning the fan for the humidity, but shut off the refrigeration. It'll probably overshoot a couple degrees and then turn it off. This one just bounced back up, and it is just refrigerating right now and turned off the humidification, which will turn itself back on after that gets down another RH% or so. So far so good, nice and quiet. I can't hear the circulatory fans at all, and the refrigeration units, especially when only one is running, darn near silent. I mean, it just sounds like a little hum background noise. Like I said, I hear the fan more than this unit, and it's right next to me. Love it. We've got about 20 minutes left before the Instant Pot says dinner's ready. I'm gonna see if I can knock out at least one of the coffee tables here. It's just 8 or 10 bolts. I think what I might do, after everything is complete and set up, think about some outdoor carpets. not only for the general seating areas, but to help with the mildew that collects from all the drip points from the morning dew. I think that might be a pretty good option. Still have to scrub them clean. I think they'll come clean, but this might be leaving a bit of a stain because it's been there so long. We'll see. Actually, change of plans. I forgot I need to do a video this afternoon before the sun goes down because I'm still working on the set for nighttime setup. And I've got some good daylight here for another hour or so. Where did I put all my stuff? Everything that I took yesterday. I think I put it in the office. Oh, it is a chore doing on-location shoots because I basically have to take everything from my studio, pack it up, set it up there, tear it back down, set it back up at home. All right, I'm gonna get this going here. Well, the wife in the Instant Pot made a delicious beef roast dinner. And the bad news is, it looks like I have to get another garbage disposal. It keeps tripping itself after 15, 20 seconds. It's not jammed or anything. It's not overheating. You gonna help, Chloe? But it's very unbalanced. You can touch the thing here and it's just shaking itself apart. So there's something going on. I'll look inside, but I don't see anything obvious. So after another couple hours here, just starting to observe how it's behaving, it's definitely starting to even out already. This one has been completely shut off for a little while. This one's just cycling the humidity a little bit. Temperature took no time at all to really settle in, as I thought, because it's only bringing it down a few degrees from ambient. But here's one change I did make. I set my RH from 66 up one tick to 68, because what I'm finding is that 3 to 4 degree variance or percent variance from when it kicks on or off, it's always going to be on the low side. So I was worried about it overshooting, but it doesn't overshoot by 3 and 4 and then shut off. It actually only goes, it looks like one tick, so 2% over. So it was turning off at 68 and then dropping down to 62 before kicking back up to 68 to hit that 66 level. Well, I don't want it that low, so I kicked it back up to 68. So now it'll just kiss 70 before coming down to 64. That's a much better variance for how I like my cigars to be averaging around 65, 66. So temp's still holding great, set at 66, and it fluctuates right around that range, and it's behaving completely automatic. It's cycling the heat if it goes too low. It's cycling the refrigeration when it, gets a little bit too warm, but it really isn't coming on much at all now. The RH is just catching up and seasoning the shelves. So far so good. Just playing around here. This is the divider set that they give you. They give you one long one and then 2 short ones, so you can divide it into quadrants if you so desire. Have to say I'd like to see a better setup. Something like, say, the Aderini humidors. They don't give you any kind of notches, so this is just flimsy and loose in here. It's not even a really snug fit in between the shelves. This big one has a bit of a gap, so it's not even that snug. These two fit okay, and it keeps it in place in the center, but I would like to see something better. These shelves are, the actual shelf is okay, but there aren't any extra features to it whatsoever. So this is bare bones. I don't know. I would love to just have a horizontal one. I don't need these two here, this long one, but the long one doesn't fit sideways. So I have to use it just to get 2 sections here, because I do want to store cigars in 2 different sections and not have them all rolling together. This way I can store them this way instead of this way. So it's up to you, but I would love to see a better divider section for sure. I'm gonna have to get some little pieces of tape or something. What I've been doing all these years is anytime someone sends me in something, I put a little sticky note with their name so I can credit them in the review, and this is how I store everything, in just individual little Ziploc bags. But now I need someplace to put all the little notes, or if they send me a letter, I just cut out their name. But I need some way to attach something small and easy to remove to the band of each cigar. I guess just using a little corner of a sticky note will be fine. That should work. They come off easily. Chloe just had a puppy bath in the shower this time. She's enjoying her favorite all veggie dingo. You like that? Is it good? Yeah? Can I have some? Can I have some of that?
Look at that. Oh, that looks pretty good. No, you're not gonna share? All right, have fun.
So I found some fit better than others. They are not all cut exactly the same. So I'm gonna go and mix and match and see if I can get all of them to fit snug. This one is a little bit too long, so it might be a good one to swap out for the top there. Let's see. Sure enough, that one is just right. Okay, well that makes it feel better. I've got enough here where I can probably mix and match all of them to get them to work. Won't be figuring that out for a while though. It's gonna take a long time to start emptying. And yes, I am starting to fill. It's pretty much stabilized. You know, these shelves will season themselves. The cigars are already seasoned, so they're gonna help it actually acclimate faster because the less airspace you have, the easier it is on whatever system you're using. And of course, packing it as full of cigars as possible takes up airspace. Starting to make some headway. One small coolador down. It doesn't even look like I've done anything yet. This thing is going to handle a lot of cigars. So someone asked if the drawers could be repositioned, and yes, they can. They can be added, removed, or repositioned any way you like. There are notches built into the cabinet itself that you can reposition the slides into. So maybe you don't like these angled ones and you want all straight shelves, or the other way around. Or maybe you want to turn it into a wine rack. You can put racks in here. You can add some more shelves, which I may do because like I said, don't store a lot of boxes. My boxes are pretty much going to go on the bottom 4 shelves, and you know that might fill up the 4 shelves. I don't know. I don't have that many, but I would really like 4 or 6 more of these slightly angled shelves. Although the flat ones do fit more in. So you know what, I may switch everything over to the flats and get 4 or 6 more flats. And that way I can fit more in, because the way I'm putting them in, I really like that they fit 2 rows of singles in each tray and it's still completely flush. So I could easily fit a whole nother shelf in between each of these if they were all flat. So that would be something to consider if you end up needing or wanting more storage out of the same cabinet. One small cooler down. Doesn't even look like I put anything in. One new hacksaw later, we got our poles cut down a little bit. And let's see how it's gonna look for our framing. Definitely have to move these around. Got our sunset going. Looks like it's on fire. Beautiful evening. So that'll be about the framing right there. I think that looks pretty good. That's really close to the level I had in the old set. But of course you can still see into the background. Need some more light, hang on. There we go. Yeah, that should work. Now I need to figure out where I packed my tiki torch fuel. Got like 10 gallons of it. I am gonna bet it's in one of these 2 bins because that's where I put all the garage stuff and all the liquids, and I think I put the tiki torch in with the garage liquids. I gotta move all this crate wood. I'm gonna have to quarter this up tomorrow, at least quarter it up, maybe into 6 pieces just to let the garbage guy take it. And these 2 have to be cut up into probably 3. Well, it's not the first one. This is oils and sprays and lubricants. There's some of it. It's in with the barbecue smoking wood. All right, I can use that for tonight or tomorrow. Might do one tonight, who knows. Something I want to do fairly right away is change out this knob into the garage for a handle, because when you're coming in with your hands full, it's a little hard to twist it. Yes, that will do very nicely. All right, well, I'm gonna have a cigar, have a drink or 2, sit out here, and start assembling more furniture. Knock this pile out, or at least make headway into it. Got the first set all done, and I'm changing my mind about where to place things. I'm putting the umbrella just to the left of the view, and it will totally extend over this outdoor seating area. The other set is gonna be up here, and it'll be under the roof, so I won't need an umbrella there. The hammock is gonna go here, and this will allow me to simply spin the umbrella, cover the hammock for the sun, or cover the seating area. And it doesn't get obstructed, or it doesn't obstruct the view, as you can see as I walk back towards the door. Still looks great. Of course, You're looking right over the patio set, so it won't even interfere at all. And with the umbrella down like that, very minimal footprint. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on the second set now, which will be here, and again, completely out of view. You'll just see a little sliver of the chairs, that's about it. The couch will be behind the wall, right up against the wall here, and that'll be that. Hammock will be back in here. You won't even see it from the main doors. You might see it if you look out the guest room window. And still haven't figured out where I'm gonna put the grill. I might keep it where it is. Depends on how it is actually using it. Might be a pain if I'm going in and out. I might want it by a table. Might put it, I don't really want it up there. Might put it over in that corner. I'm not sure. I'll start grilling and see how I feel. So Chloe and I got a bunch done. Got one full set done and another chair, and where'd the other table go? Oh, over there. So I've got one more chair and a couch to do, and I'll do that tomorrow night. See you later, guys.